In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up QuickBooks and Asset Accountant in order to take advantage of the integration between the two systems so you can post all your journals in relation to leasing. Before you start the configuration within Asset Accountant, you'll need to set up a number of accounts within your chart of accounts in QuickBooks Online. These would be the non-current lease liability and unexpired interest accounts, if you are using unexpired interest, a lease payment clearing account, interest on leased assets account, and then you'll need a current lease liability account and a current unexpired interest account. If you do not account using the unexpired interest method, you can just map the unexpired interest lines in Asset Accountant into the relevant lease liability line in QuickBooks. So once that's set up, I can head over to Asset Accountant. So you'll see here I've created a new register. So the first thing I want to do is connect that to QuickBooks. So if I head over to Register Settings and Integrations, I can connect here to QuickBooks Online. That will then go and set me up the integration with QuickBooks. So now I'm connected to the QuickBooks account that I am logged into. Then I'll go into the asset screen and I'm going to create a new asset group from scratch here. So for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to assume it's a leased car schedule. Then I will choose my default methods for tax and for accounts. So I'll just choose prime cost over 5 years for those. If I'm only using Asset Accountant for my leasing, then I would just choose doesn't exist for the depreciation methods, and then it would only post the leasing journal entries. Then I come to map my general ledger accounts. So I will select the edit button there and it will go and ask me to map these into the accounts from the QuickBooks ledger that I'm connected to. So I will just very quickly map the accounts for the balance sheet and the profit and loss for the depreciation. I don't need to touch revaluations at this point. And then I just need to map the current and non-current lease liabilities. So current lease liability and non-current lease liability will be mapped there. Then the lease payment clearing account. Then for my unexpired interest, if I'm using that, I would map that direct to the unexpired interest account. If I'm not accounting using unexpired interest, then I would just map that to the current lease liabilities. So I do that for current and for non-current, and then I'm going to map the interest expense on leased assets, and then profit and loss on disposals can just go to those. So once I'm happy with that, I can save that, and that will then now post the relevant journals into QuickBooks. So I'll save that now. That asset group's now been created for leased cars. Now I'm going to add a new leased car and show you how to post the journal. So I'll add the new hire purchase leased asset. So let's say leased car number 1. I'm going to choose the lease start date of the 1st of July, choose that that's a leased car. Then I can generate the schedule. So let's say the car was $51,000 and I'm going to be paying $4,000 every month for the next 13 months. So that'll give me the schedule. I'm going to use that schedule. You can see here that's been created. Then I choose the tax depreciation and the accounts depreciation if I want to post that into QuickBooks. If I'm not using QuickBooks for the depreciation, then I'll just set that doesn't exist. Save that, and then that asset is now on the balance sheet, and you can see we're tracking the lease liability as that goes through. So if I look at the assets there, you'll see that's on the fixed asset register. Now I'm going to go into the journals. So no journal's been created, so I'm going to create my first journal for the month of July. So that's when my assets have started. So that'll create the asset journal that I need to post. So you can see everything's set up in this journal. You can see the lease liabilities are set up, so I can review that journal and then just simply post that to QuickBooks Online. And if I want to post the detail for the clearing account for the lease payments, that means I'll be able to reconcile that against the bank statement in there. So I'll just choose to post that detail. So I'll post that detail, and then that journal has now been posted to QuickBooks Online, ready for you to do your work in there.